Greetings, my fellow people from the Cameroons and also from the entire Gulf of Guinea region. I want you all to share this impromptu Facebook Live. Why? And share it to all the platforms that you belong to, because I will be giving out some very important update about the process that is taking place within the revolution and the struggle for self-determination among Southern Cameroonians and Cameroon as a whole. My fellow country people, I won't be keeping you all for too long, but this is an update of what we have been working at the background to make sure things actually play out in a resolution that will be peaceful to solve this crisis or conflict in our homeland. You all should share as wide as you can. I will be beginning this live video conversation with you all momentarily. This is an impromptu, as I said. So share to all the platforms, all across Cameroons, all across Cameroons, Cameroons with an S. Today, we will be acknowledging some of the contributions that some of our people have made towards peace to come to the entire region of Gulf of Guinea, especially in Southern Cameroons and also Cameroon at large. Fellow brothers and sisters, this is very important for you all to know that as the noise level amongst our people is being ratcheted up by people who come on social media platforms and instigate violence amongst their own brothers and sisters in the homeland, there are some of us that have actually relegated ourselves to the back and tried to look for solutions to solve this crisis. Coming on social media or on WhatsApp platforms to make rumors, contemplate assassination amongst ourselves, it's not going to take us to where we want to go. Where we want to go is a peaceful Cameroons. No matter what the outcome of the solution to this crisis is, the end of the day, peace is what we need. All of us, not only in Southern Cameroon, but in Cameroon totally. We want peace all over the region of Gulf of Guinea. We cannot be fighting for the right to self-determination and also don't have solidarity with the other group of people within that region, including Cameroon as a whole. Our rights to self-determination is a secret right given to us by our Creator. And if we espouse ourselves as the children of our Creator, be it God or Allah, or whichever religion you practice, you must also fight for the rights to self-determination of every single person that lives within the space that you are fighting for. That space is the entire Cameroons with an S and the Gulf of Guinea as a whole. My friends, I did not come here to stay for too long, but I came here to give you guys a very important information that every single Cameroonian must understand. We are moving forward silently but powerfully to come with a resolution to this war. As we all know, I am Marshal Foncha. I am the one who stood out in 2017. There is historical records of this, and called for the right to bear arms in Southern Cameroon to defend our rights to self-determination. I did that. When this war was launched, we were not after creating a situation where our entire population will be engulfed in a war. We were surgically trying to build a resistance to fight the oppression and the barbaric soldiers that were coming into our homeland to kill our people. But this revolution started on a good foot. But we, amongst ourselves, as people of Cameroon in southern Cameroon, there were opportunists amongst us who watched the revolution from the sidelines when we started. I can name them, like Crise, who calls me all the time when the revolution started, trying to put some type of a coalition together to mediate. So these were some of the people who were fighting to come into the revolution, not in good faith, but to seek political positions and build an establishment for themselves. And Lord behold, these people were all people that came from a religious background that were trying to turn the religion, the revolution, into a theocratical revolution that is going to be able to capture the mind of those weak Africans who espouse to those religions that they have been conquered within and subordinated under. Peace is what we are fighting for now. A peaceful solution to this crisis for all of Cameroons. That is Cameroons with an S. My fellow brothers and sisters, my organization, the New African Coalition Front, we have the courage to talk to both our enemies and our friends, because we believe the courage to make peace is stronger than the weakness to seek an endless war. We have to come to a conclusion of this war. That is why the New African Coalition Front, which is my organization, we have reached out to several commanders and hundreds of troops in southern Cameroon, and they are with us. I can proudly say they are with us. It's time to seek a peaceful solution to this crisis. On both sides, the madness should stop. On both sides. We are also calling on the government of Cameroon to be responsible enough to join us in this peace crusade. So we're gonna be moving forward with a preliminary internationally recognized peace conference sometime this year after this COVID-19 coronavirus have subsided. We are looking for a location that is going to be endorsed by the international community to have an international peace conference for Cameroons. We have already sent our communiques out, and our communiques have been well received by all international mediation and crisis groups around the world, including my own country, the United States of America, Canada, Switzerland, England, France, because we have demonstrated that we have the courage to talk to our enemies. If you cannot talk to your enemy, you can never find peace. Having the resolve, the courage to confront your adversary and talk to them face to face to seek peace is a powerful courage that I believe even those who practice the religions of all faiths will tell you this is a courage that is ordained by our Creator. My friends, I have not come here as an Anglophone because I am not an Anglophone. I am not from England. And I am not addressing the other part of Cameroonians as Francophones because they are not from France. We are Africans. We have the capacity to solve our problem within our own homeland. But we have moved forward because of some of our comrades, their security concerns. We have decided to look for an international neutral ground to hold our first international preliminary peace conference. We're going to be inviting every single Southern Cameroonian. We're going to be inviting also the government of Cameroon. We're going to be inviting the international community that have already signaled to us during our communiques with them that they are willing to participate in such a peace conference for Cameroon. This is not the Grand National Dialogue that took place in Yaoundé. This is an international peace conference that we want everybody to come on the table. It's a preliminary peace conference with no preconditions. Zero, absolutely no preconditions, and people from all factions across Cameroon. When I mean across Cameroon, from the southwest region to the northwest region, as is presently known to the international community, to the eastern region, to the central region, to the west region, to the far north region, Adamawa region. We want every single person who was born in that part of the world called Cameroon today to be part of this conference. And we're going to be reaching out to all the factional leaders to join us in this international effort to start a frank discussion to bring peace in the Gulf of Guinea and in Cameroon with an S. My fellow Cameroonians, it's come a time when we in Southern Cameroon, we must be responsible enough to take seriously every opportunity given to us for peace. And this is one such opportunity. But we have also identified among our ranks some of the imposters and syndicate of criminal activities. And we in the New Africa Coalition Front, which is Cameroon's with an S, New African Coalition Front, in partnership, have decided to collaborate with the Peace Task Force Initiative for Cameroon. And all the international partners, including the United Nations, recognize us as a partner for peace in Cameroon. We have reached out to some of the fighters on the ground. I can proudly say, I called for this war in 2017, and I have reached back to hundreds of soldiers on the ground in Southern Cameroon. And they are waiting for us to sit down and start talking in earnest how to resolve this matter of the right to self-determination to Southern Cameroonians and to all Cameroonians. This is not a question of who is fighting for presidency, and we don't give a damn about this presidency issue. We want everybody to be on the table without preconditions. From Tabe Julius, to Lucas Cho Ayaba, to Akwanga, to Bo Herbert, to Milana Tam. We want all these people to be on the table. Mark Barata, Eric Tato, Chapang Ivo, name it. I am not here to attack any of my brothers, but I want to tell them there is a machine that has started. We are bringing the opposition parties in Cameroon as well. The SDF, we want them there. The Kawala party, we want them there in this peace conference. The CPDM, we want representative from them as well. Cabral Libio, they will be there. We want every African that was born in this country called Cameroon to be part of this international peace conference that, due to the coronavirus, we have decided to look for a space. It's somewhere in North America, and we're going to be announcing the date that this peace conference is going to be taking place, with recognition from the United Nations Security Council, France, Canada, United States, and all these international partners to be observers. So we will start marking the names of those who are for peace and those who are for endless and reckless war that is killing our people. And it has gone up to the level where amongst us Southern Cameroonians, This is not a recent phenomenon. They have been contemplating to kill each other just to fight for political positions. This revolution was not started to fight for political positions. It was started to assert the right to self-determination for our people. So I am very sick to my stomach to see the various factions come on Facebook Live and the different media streams that they have created, especially Mr. Ekomesako and his faction. We don't recognize them at this point in time because the faction that we recognize to be part of this struggle is the faction led by Tabe Julius. That's Seseko Tabe Julius in Kondengi, Pang Fongalanfa Mfo, and the Tasang Wilfred and the rest. I have made it clear. I have had several communications with all our enemies. I have spoken to Tabe Julius, and I have told Tabe Julius exactly what we are doing. He knows my position, and this position, I would not waver from it. Nobody can frighten or bully me, but I have made it very clear with all our partners, enemies and friends. The criminal syndicate led by Sako, we cannot recognize them because of all their crimes against humanity in southern Cameroon, and also the racketeering and scamming schedules that they are creating in Maryland, and they are embezzling money from our people that was meant for humanitarian reasons for their own benefit. These are jobless individuals in Maryland that are looking for ways to embezzle and bamboozle our people. We started this revolution. It wasn't Sako. It wasn't people like Chris Ano. They were calling me to organize stuff. We can certainly say the people from the AGC, they have the commitment to fight for the self-determination of Southern Cameroonians as well. We all have this commitment. We have differences. I am not in support. We have huge political differences in policies on how to go forward. But I can say, any mature politician or any mature revolutionary must understand the position of the world at large. The foreign policy objectives of this United States that we live in, I am following those foreign policy objectives very clearly. And I can certainly say we are on the right track. There is no amount of firepower that the government of Cameroon will put on the ground, and there is no amount of firepower that we from Southern Cameroon will put on the ground, and any one of us will win. Guns will not win this war. The negotiations will be with pens on the table and not guns. We have proved that we can resist. Now it's time that we can it's time for us to show the courage that we are capable to face our adversaries and look them in the eye and talk peace. And this is the process that I've started, that this process in collaboration with the Peace Task Force for Cameroon have been recognized by international organizations, the EU, Canada, the United States of America. They have all recognized this, and we are moving forward. This is an update that I've come to give people across Cameroon. We will not relent. We will fight. We cannot be bullied. The fact that we don't come on air and speak. Southern Cameroons and Cameroonians must understand there are some of us that are actually working on the background that started on the forefront by encouraging and also by building legitimate self-defense forces on the ground in Southern Cameroon to resist the oppressive forces that were coming into our own territory to fight against our people. Now we have moved to the next stage. So all this idea about creating presidencies in the diaspora is totally useless, because this has resulted in the killing of hundreds of our people on the ground. Southern Cameroonians against Southern Cameroonians. This is not the reason why I got into this revolution. This is not the reason why I proclaimed Southern Cameroon Defense Forces sometime in 2017, April in 2017, which was the first call to arms to this revolution. Now we have moved forward. We have matured and we are calling for total rights to self-determination for every single Cameroonian on the territory of Cameroon, in southern Cameroon, and also in Cameroon. We are moving forward. We want peace. But how do we achieve that peace? We must be able to talk to our adversary. And this is the process that we have begun. And this process will move forward. But we are now taking pains to identify all the criminal syndicates, like those of Kmer in Maryland, to remove them from any type of process that will bring peace, because we realize that some of these criminal syndicates, they are not out to fight for the rights to self-determination, but to enrich themselves from the blood of our sons and daughters that are fighting back in our homeland. My fellow Cameroonians, with an S, there is no amount of false rumors. There is no amount of bullying. There is no amount of tribal boundary cohesion that can stop us from moving forward. All the false rumors concocted against myself and my organization about monies and this embezzlement, which we all know is false, coming from the Kmer syndicate of criminals that embezzled almost $2 million from our people. We will hold them accountable. You cannot accuse somebody for something that you did. That is exactly what Kmer and Chris Anu and John Egiwang and their criminal syndicate with their surrogates are going about, trying to shut everybody up by pointing people, including myself, that money was embezzled. I never touched no money. I invested my own money in this revolution. Almost $50,000 of my own hard-earned monies from my own business was invested. I have never come and asked ambassadors for a penny. Even the $2 million that was embezzled by the criminal syndicate in Maryland, by Kmer, Johnny Giwang, and the Chris Anus alike, I was the one who brought the concept of a unified defense force that created the ASC. After I went on SCBC and launched the ASC, the Southern Cameroonians had the courage to donate this money, these $2 million, to the coffers of the IG then, when Sako, before he was fired by Seseko Tabe as the interim president. This money was embezzled. They turn around and start pointing fingers to some of us that we were the ones who embezzled the money, because they were trying to cover. They were trying to cover their embezzlement and racketeering and scamming scheme to the world. But the whole world knows this, as my able brother Eric Tato have exposed them. Eric Tato has exposed them because Eric Tato was close to them at one time. He knows exactly that Kmer, the Chris Anus, and the Agiwangs, they were the ones who did all this embezzlement and started pointing fingers to the wrong people because they wanted to cover their track. But that is done. Now, we have to preserve life. And that is the mission that I, Marshal Foncha, that declared this war in April of 2017 in Washington, D.C. under the Southern Cameroon Defense Force banner, SCDF. Before even the ADF, before the SOCADF, I declared the war. The records are there. I have come now that I have matured. And as a mature politician under my organization, the New African Coalition Front, I have developed the courage to talk to my adversary to bring peace all across Cameroon. That is why the New Africa Coalition Front has partnered with the Peace Task Force Initiative for Cameroon to seek peace. The right to self-determination belongs to every single African that was born in the country that the international community recognized today as Cameroons. Southern Cameroonians, the North west, the southwest, the east, the west, the center, the north, the far north, we all have the right to self-determination. This is not about who is going to be the leader, but this is about millions of people, all the citizens of this space called Cameroons, to be able to assert their right to self-determination in their various regions. So we will be coming up from our secretariat in Washington, D.C., where we are planning this international peace conference for the Cameroons, all of Cameroons. We want everybody there. From all the 10 regions of Cameroon, we want them in this peace conference. We have the courage to look our adversaries in the eye and talk to them and settle our scores peacefully. That is why we will be sending official invitation to all the factions in this revolution to come to this international peace conference that has been already been given a green light by the international community. This is not the Swiss peace conference. This peace conference will be in North America. We will determine the date because of the COVID-19. We will come up with a new date as the COVID-19 subsides. With the venue and the country that is going to be hosting this international peace conference for Cameroon. Our fighters on the ground, are personally speaking to all the fighters, to a lot of the commanders on the ground, day and night, and they are with us. It does not matter which faction they are fighting for. I have spoken to them. I want to thank those commanders on the ground and the fighters on the ground in their hundreds that I've spoken to, that they have given our faction, the New Africa Coalition Front, the courage to talk to our enemies, to fight for the right to self-determination for every single Cameroonian. So those of us from Southern Cameroon, we are also fighting for our rights to self-determination. Likewise, those of the rest of Cameroonians from all the other 8 regions. We will make sure that the international community know who is for peace in Cameroon and who is for a senseless and endless war in Cameroon. And those of you who will not be able to attend this conference because you are a purveyor, because you guys are purveyor of war, senseless war that is killing our people, creating mayhem in the northern and southern regions of Southern Cameroon. We will hold you guys accountable. The international community will see for themselves the various factions in this war, in this conflict, that are not willing to sit down and talk with their adversary and seek a peaceful and a lasting solution that will assert the right to self-determination to all the peoples of Cameroon. My fellow brothers and sisters, this is the update I came to give you all. I will not relent. Like I heard on one of my brothers, Lucas Asu, who was saying, where is Foncha now? Where is Foncha? Foncha is still alive. This is Foncha. And Foncha has been working day and night, powerfully, but silently, with our friends and with our enemies, to seek a solid, internationally recognized peaceful resolution to this conflict in Cameroon. Just as I'm fighting for the right to self-determination for the people of the northwest region of Cameroon, the southwest region of Cameroon, I'm equally fighting for every citizen of Cameroon in all the 10 regions for their right to self-determination as well. The right to self-determination is a God-ordained right that if you are capable to fight for yourself, you should be fighting for others as well. This is it. This is not an Anglophone issue. This is not a Francophone issue. This is an African conflict that is happening in Cameroon. And as Africans, we have to evoke our courage and capacity to talk with ourselves rather than killing ourselves. Worst of all is amongst the Southern Camerooners themselves that are organizing gangs of illegal armed groups to kill their own brothers. Like what happened in Gambu. Like what happened also with Chaja and the rest. I can clearly say, those who came into this revolution in the name of God, they did not come in good faith. They came in this revolution in the name of God because invoking the name of God would be an easy way to scam our people, to deceive our people, because God is being invoked. But I can clearly tell every single Cameroonian, especially the Southern Cameroonians, from the northern region and the southern region of Southern Cameroons, religion and pastors need to get out of this revolution. They have derailed the genuine cause of this revolution. This is the truth. Those of you who are watching me, Southern Cameroonians, if you think I am joking, for the next 8 months, if these pastors from Sakoe Kmer to John Egiwang to Crise, they are still in this revolution, the rights to self-determination that we are fighting for, we will not achieve it, because this bunch of pastors and people invoking the name of God in this revolution, they are fighting for their own self-centered political agenda. That is why they are building armed gangs, not secessionist fighters, not liberation fighters, but armed gangs from the Maryland IG that goes about sizing up and fighting and killing their own brothers in southern Cameroons in the name of independence. No, 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 no. These people are not fighting for independence. They are not fighting for the right to self-determination. They are fighting to enrich themselves, and I can certainly guarantee you, most of them will not be able to go back to Southern Cameroon or to go back to Cameroon after this war has been finally resolved. Fellow friends, fellow Africans from Cameroons, this is no more a laughing matter. We cannot keep evoking the name of God, but sending our young men to go and kill their own brothers and call it a revolution. This is not the call of arms that I, Marshal Foncha, made on the 14th of April in 2017. We genuinely joined this revolution to fight oppression and to assert our right to self-determination. And these pastors were sitting like wolves in sheep clothing, watching us, looking for any opportunity, because they were calling me. The Sakos, Common Sense, and Chris Anu, they were calling me. And I know they were calling other comrades like Comrade Gayaba or Comrade Akwanga. They were looking for an opportunity to come into this genuine cause for the rights to self-determination, to use the name of God to hijack it, because they know the people of Africa and Southern Cameroon have been brainwashed and they have been locked into this Eurocentric Christianity that as soon as you evoke the name of God, you can toy with them. You can brainwash them. You can send them to kill their own brothers because they're gonna be doing that for the men of God. This is where we have found ourselves. That is why I am sincerely thanking some of the younger brothers who came from behind us, like Eric Tato Tano, like Tapang Ivo, that they have matured enough, that they have realized the game and the scam that some of these religious leaders have come into this revolution and successfully invoked the name of God to build a criminal syndicate. And the communiques that we are sending to the international community, make no mistake, all the communities that the New Africa Coalition Front, we are sending out to the international community. We have identified these criminal syndicates of Kmer Sako and Crise and Johnny Giwan. And in all our communications that's going on to the international community, we have identified them as the culprits to crimes against humanity in southern Cameroon. We have identified them as the embezzlers of monies that were supposed to, of charity funds that were supposed to go to help our people. That is why we will not be sending an invitation to this international peace conference that is going to be held in North America once this COVID-19 situation is over, to the criminal syndicate of Sako Kmer and the Crise Anus. And their surrogates have to watch out. All their surrogates across Europe have to watch out, because I can assure them, when these pastors will be dragged in front of the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity in southern Cameroon, some of them will be going with them. The case is being made. These criminal syndicates of pastors are a bunch of thieves. They are killing our people on the ground. The maturity that some of us have gained, as we get old, we get wiser. The right to self-determination belongs to every single African that was born in the country that we call today Cameroon. Southern Cameroonians, West Cameroon, East Cameroon, call it not. And I want to make something very clear here. We are not subscribing. And when I say we, I'm talking about New Africa Coalition Front and all the forces on the ground that I've talked to, that have aligned with us in their hundreds. I will not be coming and be showing you forces on the ground for them to make videos and audios and send out. I don't belong to WhatsApp forums. This war is not being fought on WhatsApp forum. It's being fought on the ground by real people that are dying and bleeding. So WhatsApp forums is something that I'm out of it. I'm not in any WhatsApp forum because I think they are useless. WhatsApp forums are house of political prostitutes and harlots of the revolution, creating rumors, building conspiracy, contemplating assassination against their own fellow brothers because they are fighting for political power. The forces on the ground in their hundreds that are supporting this initiative that I'm bringing to you people today also have recognized this syndicate of criminals and gangs in Maryland, led by various pastors and their surrogates across the world, as responsible for their suffering and death in southern Cameroon. We are just keeping quiet. We have passed the baton to come on social media to our younger brothers that are doing a fine job, like Eric Tato and Tapang Ivo and the rest. But we will stay on behind the scenes, and we will talk to our enemies. We will talk to our adversaries. We will talk to our friends and the international community. That is why we have succeeded to move this milestone, to get to a point where some of the international actors have agreed to work with us to build this international consensus for peace for Cameroon. Fellow brothers and sisters, This is a serious call. Some of you might be watching me and expecting me to use certain language here that you are comfortable with, but I will not. Because diplomatically, politically, I am mature more than what I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I am speaking now to head of states. I am speaking now to ministers in foreign countries, to secretaries in foreign countries, foreign governments. I cannot come here and be using a language that is not politically or diplomatically mature enough to be able to convey my message to you all. But if there is one thing you all must take from what I'm telling you guys today, is we are fighting for peace in Cameroon with an S. That is all of Cameroons. We are all Africans. We are all Africans. Just as how, as Africans, we can all marshal our resources to fight terrorist outfits like Boko Haram in Nigeria. When peace comes to Cameroons, to southern Cameroons, and to all of Cameroons, any relegated force that will be fighting against peace in Cameroons will be marked as a terrorist outfit that is fighting against their own people. Because at the end of the day, we are Africans, not Anglophones, not Francophones. The form of state that was handed to us by the colonial masters, be it France or be it England, is annulled. We are Africans, we are independent. We in the New Africa Coalition Front, we don't subscribe to the form of state that was given to us by the British, and we don't subscribe to the form of state that was given to us through colonialism by France. So we are not British Southern Cameroonians. We are not French Cameroonians. We are Cameroonians with an S of African origin. So the new Cameroon must be based on African cultural boundaries that we must have the courage to summon. We are not gonna subscribe to any form of government that was given to us by the British or the French. So if you sit as a Southern Cameroonian and you call yourself a British Southern Cameroonian, you are misguided, you are lost, and you are still under slave mentality. If you sit and call yourself France Afrique, that you are a French Cameroonian, you are misguided, you are still have a colonial mentality, and you cannot be part of this new movement and the Cameroon for tomorrow. We are fighting for Cameroon for tomorrow, not Cameroon today. Remember, this is not about leadership for today. This is about leadership and peace for tomorrow. So any person who is prostituting themselves as presidents or as leaders, instead of coming together and looking for a peaceful solution to solve this crisis, assert our right to self-determination, that person is an imposter, and that person is not working for the next generation and the future of the Africans within that space called recognized today as Cameroons. This is for the next generation. I have been saying something all along. We are fighting for a generational leadership shift. We are not fighting to install ourselves as presidents, but as older people within our generation today, like myself. I am chairing the New Africa Coalition Front. And I decided to remove the Ambazonia from that name. I will explain that another date. It's now simply New Africa Coalition Front. And we are recognized by the United States, by the EU, by Switzerland, by England as New Africa Coalition Front. And that is why we are building the momentum, silently but powerfully, to come to a consensus with all our adversaries to convene an international peace conference for Cameroons in collaboration with the Peace Task Force Initiative for Cameroon after this COVID-19 must have subsided. My fellow brothers and sisters, if you belong to a faction in this war, you must look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do we want to continue to see our people die on both sides of the conflict? Or do we want to face our enemies or our adversaries? Muster the courage. Sit down with them without precondition and seek a peaceful resolution to this conflict. I have done that. I am mature. I have spoken to hundreds of commanders on the ground as early as yesterday, and they have given a green light. We're not going to be putting anything up in the media. But when the dates have been determined for this international peace conference for Cameroon, we will let all Cameroonians, those who happen to speak French and those who happen to speak English as a foreign language, but Cameroonians from all the regions in Cameroon and their leaders to participate in this future international peace conference, which is going to be a preliminary conference in North America, and we will take it to different parts of the world, and we will conclude it in our homeland and settle, end this conflict peacefully, and every single citizen in Cameroon will be able to assert their right to self-determination. Enough is enough of this madness. And enough is enough of the Southern Cameroonians in the diaspora who are fighting to position themselves for political posts in an illusionary nation state without having the courage to be able to talk with the people that they are fighting with. I will give a simple example. Why is America talking to North Korea? Do you think America don't speak to Iran? Why is Israel speaking to Egypt and to Saudi Arabia? We have to be mature. My fellow brothers and sisters, excuse me for 1 second. Let me take a sip of water. Thank you all for your patience. I had to, it's quite hard because of the light coming to my face. What I'm saying, I wanted to give an example here. America talks to Iran. In as much as America is in a war footing with Iran. President Donald J. Trump talks to Kim Jong-un of South Korea. In international diplomacy, if you don't have the courage to speak to your adversary, you are certain to lose any type of armed confrontation and you are certain to lose the goodwill of the international community as a whole. This is a fact. I want to let Southern Cameroonians understand, especially Southern Cameroonians or the English-speaking Cameroonians. I will come to the Cameroonians who speak French. I don't want to use the word Anglophones or Francophones because that word disturbs me a lot. We are all Africans who were colonized by Europeans for the benefit of Europeans. So calling myself an Anglophone, that is misidentity. I am a Bayangi man from Cameroon. I am a Bayangi man from Manu, from Cameroon. I am proud to be a Bayangi man from Manu in Cameroon. I love my culture. I don't want to be absorbed. I don't want to be misidentified as an Anglophone or whatever. And there is one more other thing that I can tell Southern Cameroonians. Switzerland, Germany, England, Italy, they are all different tribes within those countries. North Rhine-Westphalia and Bayern is two different tribes. There's people in Lower Saxony, Upper Saxony in Hamburg. They are a different tribe. In Switzerland, the French Swiss, the German Swiss, the Italian Swiss, the English Swiss, those are different tribes. But they managed to form a cohesive country, and everybody have the right to self-determination within their cultural boundaries. That is what I stand for. We are not going to go back to the colonial form of state that was given to us by either England or France. So any of you out there in Cameroon or in the diaspora that is totally a mental slave to Europeans, brainwashed to the point that your reference and your identity, you are identifying yourself as a British Southern Cameroonian, you are a fool. Any of you out there who is identifying yourself as a French Cameroonian, you are a fool. We are Africans, man. What is your identity? It shouldn't be based on a European language. This is some of the reason why even today, this war in Cameroon, even for 60 years, even after the two Cameroons unified, is because we were identifying ourselves with the European language, Francophone, Anglophone. That is what started building the mistrust and the colonial ideology and mentality that damaged us and pit us together. While we are fighting, the French, the English, the Chinese are coming and stealing our natural resources and exploiting our human resources and taking it away while we are fighting. As this war is going on, the biggest beneficiary of this war in Cameroon today are the foreign hegemonies that are in Cameroon. It's not even the government of Cameroon that's the biggest beneficiary of this war. The biggest beneficiary of this war is the foreign hegemonies. From the Dankute cement to all that, they are the beneficiaries of this war. After we finish fighting the war, we want to start reconstructing Cameroon. We're going to be buying all these millions of dollars of equipment and materials to rebuild our country from where? So now we have to start thinking forward. To start thinking forward, how we're going to rebuild our war-torn country in all the 10 regions. Because I cannot sit in Kumba or in Mamfe as an African, as a Pan-African, and don't think about what is happening in Chad or what is happening, more or less what is happening in Betwa or in Bafoussam or in Garwa. I have to think about every single Cameroonian as I'm moving forward. But remember, I am fighting for the right to self-determination for every single cultural boundaries within Cameroon. Gone are the days when we're gonna be going back to the European system of government. Gone are those days. Gone are the days when people are gonna use tribalism to come and bully other people to follow them. Gone are those days. There is no way, no single tribe in that Cameroon, as we know it now, can bully another tribe to follow them. No single region in Cameroon of people culturally has the capacity to bully any other region in Cameroon. I'm talking about the entire 10 regions. So somebody from Southwest cannot bully somebody from Northwest to absorb them politically, culturally, and economically. Likewise, somebody from Northwest regions of Cameroon will never, ever succeed this time around to bully somebody from the Southwest region, especially myself from Manu, to be absorbed culturally, politically, militarily, to follow them. It's not gonna work, man. It ain't gonna happen. So long as I am breathing, it's not gonna happen. And I don't want to be the one. I will never bully somebody from Northwest, or bully somebody from the West, or bully somebody from East, bully somebody from Center, bully somebody from far North to be subservient or subjugate them under the rule of the people of the Southwest. It ain't gonna happen. The right to self-determination belongs to every single Cameroonian. In all the 10 regions, there is something that we don't understand because we got caught up in that Francophone, Anglophone mentality, which is rubbish. Cameroon is separate, is divided up in 10 regions, just like Switzerland is divided in cultural boundaries. So don't come from far north, or from center, or from west, and come and tell me what to do in the Southwest region. We are fighting for our right to self-determination in the Southwest region. And we want the people in the Northwest region to fight for the right to self-determination. We want the people in the center to fight for the right for self-determination. We want the people in the far north to fight for the right to self-determination. Just like Switzerland today. Just like Germany today. Just like England. Why do you think the Irish Republican Army was fighting England? Was for the right to self-determination of Northern Ireland. So let's cut this crap. People can live, love everywhere in Cameroon, have the capacity to be able to take care of themselves, and they have the capacity economically, politically. Now it's gonna depend on what type of negotiations for peace we go to, because we have experts. I cannot lie to you, my people. I am not an expert in peace negotiations. But I can be the catalyst to bring together some of our best heads, like Barrister Bobga Harmony, like Barrister Agwambala, like Professor Carson Anyangwe and the rest. We have capable people that can do a sound negotiation for us, and at the end of the day, all of us will live there peacefully. Our people will thrive socio-economic and politically. And we all will accept our right to self-determination without us fighting and killing ourselves and destroying the entire Gulf of Guinea. And the only people that are benefiting are the Europeans. I am politically mature. I called for the war. I know Southern Cameroonians like to lie a lot. They like to bully people. They use tribalism to marginalize other people. I called for the war in April of 2017. I call this war that they are fighting now, that religious pastors have hijacked, and they are creating armed gangs that are committing crimes against humanity, against their own brothers and sisters. And I can assure you all, these pastors, especially the faction of Samuel Kmer, John Egiwa, who embezzled money and accused some of us for this embezzlement. They have a hell to pay. I am talking regularly with the soldiers on the ground. It doesn't matter their factions. They don't have to come and tell you. Hundreds of soldiers on the ground are contacting me every day. I'm speaking to head of states within Africa. I don't have to come on. I'm not an activist. I don't have to come and share my conversation with my diplomatic conversation with different head of states in Africa. I don't have to come and share my conversation that I have with the State Department. The other time there was a rumor that Dr. Nick Santos and Foncha, they are going to the State Department for political immunity. They are on their way to Yaoundé. Look at the type of silly rumors that you all Southern Cameroonians, you see false rumors and create these narratives. Then you will expect myself or Comrade Nick Santos to come out and be debating with you all on Facebook or on your stupid medias about we are not going to Yaoundé, we are not doing this. You guys are full of nonsense. Our people are dying and you guys are locked up in WhatsApp forums and creating conspiracy theories and sending little chicken change and pitching our men to fight against themselves and kill themselves while our women and children are suffering in the bushes. Come on, man. I prefer to work with people with conviction. We have to be honest for once. I've said my piece. I am for the right to self-determination for every single African that live in that present country today recognized by the international community as Cameroons. Now, when we bring our brightest to negotiate at the end of this war, we will be entrusting to them that our rights to self-determination will be guaranteed during such talks. But within my own internal faction policies, we believe to the right of self-determination in the form of Switzerland, where it's cultural boundaries. We have 10 regions in Cameroon, and those regions are drawn along cultural boundaries. So don't think that so long as myself, Marshal Foncha, I'm the chairman of New Africa Coalition Front, and we are in the process of mobilizing hundreds of peace guards to be able to defend our position and our policy in Southern Cameroon, and especially in the Southern region, one of the 10 regions of Cameroon. The right to self-determination belongs to every Cameroonian. Goodbye.